Again, a warm welcome to the morning call right here on Africanews. Please be reminded that our broadcast is coming to you in English and in French. And that's if you are on the CanalSat network, all you need to do is to use your television remote control to change the settings to your preferred language. Now, an extremist group affiliated with Qaeda has claimed responsibility for Friday's two coordinated attacks in Burkina Faso. The Mali-based militant group called Jama Nusrat ul-Islam wal al-Muslimin said on Saturday that the attacks were in retaliation for the killing of one of its leaders by French troops. At least 8 people were killed and more than 80 people were injured in those Friday's attacks in Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou.
So which is this terrorist group that was unknown until recently? The GSIM, the support group for Islam and Muslims. Now Jerry told us it's affiliated with Al-Qaeda, but what you also know that it was created a year ago and is led by Iyad Ghali, who is the leader of another terrorist group, Ansardine. A suspected jihadist has been arrested and is currently being interrogated by police, which may shed more light on the matter.
Dans cette affaire, Rodrigue Loué et Elvis Beau reviennent sur les derniers éléments de l'enquête.
Burkinabe authorities have launched investigations following Friday's twin attacks which left several dead in the capital, Ouagadougou. The country's prosecutor's office has issued a call for witnesses to assist in the search and identification of accomplices and any possible facilitators of the incident. An Al-Qaeda-linked group has claimed responsibility for the attacks, justifying their action as revenge against the ongoing war on terror in northern Mali. On Sunday, Burkinabe authorities said at least 7 people were killed during the incident, with 80 others wounded, although other sources suggest the death toll might have been higher. Although the situation was under control from Saturday night to Sunday morning, a group of armed men exchanged fire with the country's Republican Security and Protection Group at a roadblock around Ouagadougou at the heart of the capital. One attacker was killed and 2 others fled following the incident. Burkina authorities have emphasized their determination to overcome the terrorists.
On va tenter d'en savoir plus sur les enjeux
joining us for more on this is Niagale Bakayoko, a security analyst.
Sur les questions de sécurité. Bonjour Madame Bakayoko, le Burkina Faso a donc
this was a third major attack in Burkina Faso in nearly 2 years. But there are security loopholes in the country.
Sur le plan sécuritaire.
Well, indeed, terrorism in Burkina Faso is far from being limited to these 3 major attacks in Ouagadougou, since in addition to the capital, the north of Burkina Faso is also very exposed to terror threats, and there have been nearly 80 attacks since the first quarter of 2015, with more than 130 deaths reported, according to an official report. Now, there are terrorist networks in northern Burkina Faso that have been able to take advantage of the weakness of the new Burkina Faso, which after 2014 was very concerned about the reconstruction of its democracy. Terrorist networks have developed, in particular that of Ibrahim Malam Diko, a radical preacher of the Ansarud Islam group, who has links with the Al-Qaeda-linked group that claimed responsibility for the attacks that took place on Friday. Now, this time the Burkinabe army was also a target. What's your take on this? Well, these were well-planned attacks since they involved 2 coordinated groups and a car bomb attack targeted at the French embassy and the headquarters of Burkinabe armed forces. Now, the Al-Qaeda-linked group claims to have acted, quote, in response to the death of several of its leaders in a French army raid carried out as part of the Barkhane operation in northern Mali 2 weeks ago. Now, note, these groups have taken refuge in the Niger border, which is reputed to be a refuge for jihadist groups that the G5 Sahel Joint Task Force is targeting. And it is certainly against the backdrop of Burkina Faso's participation in this joint G5 Sahel force that we can conclude that the Burkinabe forces headquarters was attacked. Now, it should also be noted that the Al-Qaeda-linked extremists have a habit of attacking the neighboring army in Mali, particularly in the central region of the country. And finally, as mentioned above, the Burkinabe armed forces are regularly targeted by different terrorist groups. Now, what's different this time is that the staff, that is a headquarters in the very heart of the capital, was targeted.
Des différents groupes terroristes. Ce qui est spectaculaire cette fois-ci, c'est que l'état-major lui-même, au cœur même de la capitale, a été pris pour cible.
Alors, il y a certains qui rappellent.
Now, according to some, such attacks did not occur when Blaise Compaoré was president. Now, his departure weakened the army. What do you make of this analysis?
Oui, en effet, le président Compaoré.
Well, yes, indeed, President Compaoré had succeeded, albeit in a more equivocal way, since he was somewhat involved in both sub-regional conflicts and their resolution. So, Compaoré had managed to keep the country safe from outside attacks. Now, it seems that as soon as the country disintegrated, it experienced the first terrorist incursions. Compaoré had emphasized security as a cement for political stability. Under his regime, a handful of men maintained intelligence and security of the country, now such as Djibril Bassole, or the Presidential Security Regiment, the famous RSP, which was led by General Gilbert Diendéré. Now, Bassole and Diendéré are currently facing a trial for being the masterminds of an attempted coup. Now, at the same time, the Burkinabe territory has served as a refuge for many rebel leaders in northern Mali, and also another person called Mustafa Liman Sachi, of Mauritanian origin, who had put President Compaoré in contact with some leaders of the Sahelian jihadist groups, which clearly allowed the president to play a key role as a mediator in the release of Western hostages abducted in the Sahel region.
Le président Compaoré en contact avec les chefs des groupes djihadistes sahéliens, ce qui avait manifestement permis au président de jouer un rôle clé de médiateur, notamment pour la libération d'otages occidentaux enlevés dans la zone sahélo-saharienne.